An online petition garnering more than 170,000 signatures and counting. It's calling for President Obama to pardon a convicted murderer. The subject of the Netflix series, the Runaway series, Making a Murderer, it's Steven Avery. He was convicted in 2007 of murdering photographer Teresa Haibach. Now, Avery, he's currently serving a sentence for that, but maintains his innocence. You know what, Nick? This case is really fascinating. This documentary on Netflix, it's taken a lot of people by storm, outraging a lot of people, because this man had a history with the sheriff's department, the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department in Wisconsin, and was falsely accused and then exonerated after spending 18 years behind bars for a rape that he did not commit, and turned around with the help of the Wisconsin Innocence Project, began to sue the sheriff's department for that wrongful conviction, and they turn around and they pin this murder on him. So a lot of doubt is seriously cast on his guilt here.
And it should be, because this Netflix series really brings up a lot of good points. And I do know that there are a lot of people out there who had basically no knowledge of anything regarding this case beforehand, and now having watched it, they're extremely passionate and they're 100% sure this man is innocent. Now, I'm not saying he's not. I would, just like everyone else out there watching, I would love to see someone who does not deserve to be in jail out and free. Of course I would. So would everybody else. But at the same time, I think that, Obama, is he really gonna, because of a Netflix show and because of a petition, is he really gonna do something? I mean, I wish he would, but do you think he will? Do you really think he's gonna take some executive action over a petition online, which stemmed originally from a Netflix show?
The White House is forced to respond when they garner X amount of signatures, and I believe it's at 250,000. I need to double check that number, but if they get so many signatures, the White House has to give an official response. So, and whomever started this, and it was actually a watcher of the series in Colorado, and he said, "Look, I'm so outraged at this injustice." He began to start this petition, and he's really gaining some speed with it. Just to point out some facts in this case for people who haven't seen the documentary yet. Teresa Haibach, she was a photographer. She was a car photographer, and Avery had a salvage yard, a junkyard of sorts with cars. She went to photograph it. October 31st, she was murdered, and in 2007, he was convicted for that murder. The contention is that the nephew was coerced, that his IQ was low, that he was able to be effectively coerced by the sheriff's department, that had already penned one false rape on Avery, and other issues surrounding this case. I don't want to give it all away. If people haven't seen the documentary, I encourage you to check it out. But it casts serious doubt on the criminal case that was put together against Avery, for sure.
Well, I'm glad people are standing behind this man's freedom, or at least pushing for it, and I'm glad that they took the time to make this or sign this online petition. It's very good, but let's not forget that there are, countless numbers of people behind bars who don't deserve to be there as well. I mean, he's not the only one, and all of a sudden people are so passionate for this one guy because of this Netflix series highlighting, a man's potential innocence, which is great, but at the same time there's so many other people out there that are behind bars that people don't even know their name, don't even know that,
How many more Steven Averys are there out there?
Yeah, exactly. It brings up a good point,
Not only Steven Avery, but Brendon Dassey, who was the nephew, he says he was forced into that confession. He's also serving, he was found to be complicit in first-degree intentional homicide because of that confession. And he's gone down with the uncle, despite no DNA evidence. The DNA evidence in this case is very murky. They couldn't pin it. It's all circumstantial.
Do you think they're gonna reach their goal?
I do. I think that exactly. I think that this petition that was put on change.org by just a simple viewer, that really shows you how somebody who is just outraged by something can actually make an impact if they get involved. That's exactly what's happening in this case. 170,000 signatures strong. When that gets to a certain point, President Obama, the White House will officially have to address this case.